married women.
Yes.
So my question is like how the parents will prove that they're going to be virgin.
Okay, no, the burden of the proof is on the man. The assumption is that she's a virgin, that she had, so to speak, it's not an actual bloody sheep, it's a theoretical that she is a virgin unless he could prove that she was with another man through witnesses.
So they need witnesses then?
Yeah.
And why does she have to stay with the husband? I mean, this guy who doesn't like her.
She doesn't have to, but she's allowed to demand that he not, in other words, right, it could be whatever, in other words, he's no longer a voice in this, it's only her. Women, by the way, I'm not saying this is good, I'm just saying it's factual. Women will often rather stay with someone who doesn't like them than be alone. Men are different, but women do, like, whether it's good or not is a different question, but it's factual. Okay, yeah?
I had a question about theft. What if it was in the case of, like, they're going to throw it away anyway, such as continental breakfasts at hotels? That's the only example that I have.
About what?
Like if I walk into a hotel and pretend that I'm a guest there and just eat the continental breakfast.
Is it theft?
Is it theft?
So it's tricky. You have a rule like this. When it says Zeneh v'zeh lo chaser, one person is gaining and the other person is not losing. So a lot of times that's not theft. So an example would be walking through an apartment building by the stairs, not the elevator, where if you're quiet and you're clean, nobody's losing anything. So you're gaining, they're not losing, it's not theft. However, in the example you're actually giving, when you look at, let's say, a cup of coffee, I don't know how much a cup of coffee costs in the Waldorf, let's say it's 50 shekels. The reason why it's so expensive isn't because coffee beans are so expensive, or hot water is so expensive, or milk is so expensive. But having this whole big setup, like the gorgeous carpets and the antique furniture and the high ceilings and the courteous waitress, all of this cost money. So the high prices that they charge isn't about what you're receiving in terms of the food, it's about the service and the ambience. So because of this, when you just take the food, the truth is the food would be thrown out, so there's no loss. But since the price wasn't based on that anyway, so it's not so clear you could do it.
But if it's a self-serve?
If it's a self-serve, like...
Just have breakfast lined up, you just walk into the door and they just...
No, but there's...
everywhere.
No, so like in a hotel, so even if you're serving yourself, so there's no waiter. But there's still like the dining room itself, the ambience, the cook, like it's a whole...
Feeling of having a smorgasbord.
Right. Also, I want you to be aware, if people like rip off a restaurant or a hotel, they take it off the waiter's wages. Did you know? It's a terrible thing. I had a student here who was a waitress, where like people came, they ordered a whole meal, and then they just like walked out. And this they took it off, like she was their waitress, they took it off her wages. Okay, so, you don't always know, like you think something is, like you got away with it, but like somebody else is paying the bill there. Okay, so more questions? Yeah?
What do you do with the runaway slave? Because I know it says in the Parshat that they have to live with you, but what does that mean? Do they become your slave?
No, they don't have to live with you in your home. You just, they could live in Israel.
You just live in Israel, fine.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about levirate marriages?
Yeah. So try to phrase it as a question.
Yeah. Can we talk about levirate marriages?
Yeah. So try to phrase it as a question.
So why does the brother have an obligation to marry the widow if there are no children from his brother? Like, why is that even a thing?
So the reason why it's even a thing is it says to give his brother's name, but it doesn't mean literally his name. In other words, if the dead brother's name was Howard, you don't have to name the child Howard. But in general, the Torah doesn't reveal a great deal in the text about future lives. But the premise here, this is one of the very rare places where you have anything about it, is that the brother's soul will come down for rectification through this child. So
you didn't marry that brother, you married...
Right.
Shouldn't it just...
Right, but there's a premise that This is, again, usually Hashem keeps the curtain down. This time he lifted a little bit, saying I wouldn't have done this except for the rectification of the brother's soul.
So, does it mean that the brother then died before his time? Or
Yeah.
did he finish what he needed to do?
Right.
What if the younger brother that is not obligated, what if he was already dating
The one who's not obligated?
the one who is?
The one who is. Or what if what if he's married? Or what if he doesn't want to? As I said, there's a ceremony of release.
So it's only if he's single and wants to? Otherwise
No, see, here's where this is tricky. We don't do this anymore. We only do the ceremony of release because the assumption is that this only works if the brother is marrying her because he really wants to bring tikkun to his brother. But if he's doing it because he likes her or because she's beautiful or she has money or whatever, so that's that invalidates the whole thing. So today we don't even try that. We just do the ceremony of release v'zehu.
Do we really only see the example of that happening in the story of Ruth?
Yeah.
We don't see that anywhere else, or do we?
No, we haven't. No, in the Talmud it's all over the place, but not all over the place. At least twice. What?
There's a Hallmark movie that puts that whole thing into a movie.
What about I don't understand the shoe. Why does the younger brother, why is he taking off his shoes?
So the reason why the shoe is, the function of shoes is to protect you from the earth. So the idea there is taking off a shoe has to do with making yourself vulnerable. That's why Moshe was told to take off his shoes when he saw the burning bush, be vulnerable to God. So sometimes the reason why the brother wouldn't want to do this is he doesn't want the hassle of dealing with another woman. So saying, no, if you're meant to be vulnerable in life, you'll be vulnerable anyway.
Why are we at the liberty to renounce these laws, this law specifically?
Why are we...
what gives us the liberty to be able to renounce this law?
We don't renounce the law. Part of the law is you could either marry her or do a release.
Right,
so the release is part of it.
But why is it default release now? That's the default.
Just through observation that this is so far from where people at that it's
So why can't we do that with other laws that seem to be too hard to follow?
So again, if a law is too hard to follow and there's an out, then you would be able to do that. But if there isn't an out, you can't.
Right, so you're saying because you're allowed to do the other thing, that's...
Right. Okay, Zehu.